What's going on, guys? Sam Johnson here with Scale Labs stream podcast, wherever we want to call it. Thank you guys so much. Already got about 20 people in here tonight, so love to see that. Got quite a bit to share tonight. So we have some new people for you guys to meet, or some old friends that you guys already know, and got some other really cool announcements to make. Um, don't want to get too long-winded and keep everybody on here too long, because I am sure we're going to have plenty to talk about. So, with 26 people in here and more to come, I'm sure we'll go ahead and get right into it. One of the very first announcements, and one of call it New Year's resolution or whatever you guys would like to call it, for this year. And kind of where this stems from, what I'm about to show you guys was a couple weeks ago when you guys seen on the stream here, when Dustin Malcote from Team GFRP came in and kind of, quote unquote crashed the stream, which was awesome. I kind of had an epiphany while we were doing that, of like, man, how much I truly love and enjoy, number one, talking, which I think everybody knows, but something else that I really enjoy and love doing is like interviewing and getting to know people. And I think it's so important for people to get in, like, especially in hobbies like this, where we're kind of a sub segment of a sub segment within the hobby and things like that. I think it's really important to bring people and the personalities to the forefront. And obviously Dustin's one of those guys, and I'm going to be doing that a lot more moving forward. So with that said, this stream is going to be turning into more of a podcast type, more of a podcast type of kind of entertainment, if you will, because number one, I really want to interview people. And as I've been hinting, as you guys will see here in a minute, we have a guest tonight, and he's going to be kind of our first, our trial run, if you will. And I don't think there's a better guy to do that, obviously, with us. So, yeah, without better ado, basically, the Scale Labs RC podcast is here, and we're still going to be doing basically Wrenching Wednesdays. And I'll still be going live and doing the streams, but we're kind of adding a segment to it. Sometimes I'll have guests on, and we'll call this the podcast, and we'll do live interviews and things like that. And then we will also just be posting like on your typical Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. And I will also be stripping the audio from these segments, and we'll also be able to post those as podcasts as well. So nothing that we didn't necessarily already know as far as the podcast side of things. But yeah, so super cool. Bruce, what's up, man? Thanks for coming over and hanging out. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the first, quote unquote announcement that we have. And before we get into the kind of the big daddy, if you will, we're just going to get right into it as well, and start kind of this podcast and this interview journey. So today, he's already in here with me and everything, and I'm about to bring him in. Many of you know, I'm sure, from Slideways, any of you guys that race at Slideways, Mr. Cole Rhodes is going to be with us tonight, and he is, a great guy. I always look forward to seeing him when I go down to Slideways, and been nothing but, great to me anytime I've ever been down there. And I don't think that there's anybody better to be the first guest as Cole. And, Cole has a lot of things going on with Slideways, and he also has a kind of a small business where he's in CR7 Dirtworks, I'm sure he'll tell us all about that and what that means, and what he's doing with that. But yeah, so 34 people in here. Awesome. Without further ado, and I'm not going to touch over him or read over him with comments unless you have comments directed towards Cole. And then if you do have comments directed towards Cole, once I get him in here, I will read those off, and then he can answer them kind of as we go. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Cole Rhodes. And then after Cole is done, we've got one big announcement left. So please stay after Cole's done, and we'll get through that announcement, and then we will call it a night. And also, Happy New Year, everybody. So something else I didn't necessarily bring up, but Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a very, very Merry Christmas. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get Cole in here, and let's do it. There's the man.
What's up, guys?
What is going on, dude? So you got me loud and clear still, hopefully. Everything's good?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, Cole, I'm sure.
Well, I had you. Oh, now I can't hear
There
you.
we go. Yep, now we got me. Should
There we
have me at
go.
least, hopefully. There we go. Yep. I have a mute button on my new microphone here, and I have a tendency to want to like wrap my hands around it, and
Ah,
didn't work out very well. So anyway, so I'm sure as anybody who's been to Slideways, I'm sure there's so many people out there that already know you. Obviously, you're probably the strongest guy in RC, I would say, without a doubt. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and we can go from there.
Cole Rhodes. Been in RC racing, I think, 14 years now. Uh, been all over. I mean, I've run for teams like Bodies by Ed. I was a C4 guy for a while. Now I'm on with Team GFRP. Was traveling all over the place, running all over, and then bought a new place and had a kid, and I've kind of been a weekend warrior at Slideways for a while now, and then running the big car with Salty. Kind of been my go to for racing for a while now.
Very cool. Cool. So so everybody, when you say salty, you're talking Rick Salter. So
Yes, sir.
anybody who's been around the big car game for any length of time probably knows the salty dog as well. So have you been around the big car stuff kind of your whole life, or is that a new type of endeavor for you?
I've been around it my entire life. I run it there for quite a while, and
No kidding. Okay.
when I gave that up, that's how I jumped into RC racing. When so I had sold basically everything I had big car wise, and they had an RC track pop up, well, where Slideways is now, and I was told to go check it out, and I bopped in there and went and bought a car that night.
Awesome. Very cool. So when you say big car stuff, what did you race? Did you have multiple? Did you kind of work your way up through that side as well, or did you start, at a modified street stock? Tell us about your big
So,
car side of things.
so I started. I ran a street stock for a guy when I first started into it. Just by chance, got an opportunity to drive it a couple times, and from there, I built my own pure stock, run it for a while, and then I had a B mod while I had the pure stock, and come to grips with I basically could get rid of my bank account and run top five, or I could keep my bank account and get rid of the big car stuff.
Got it. Okay, so fair enough. Yeah, because I don't know if you know, like on my side of stuff, but I ran dirt modifieds as well. So kind of before, I
Yep.
had a little stint into the off road side of things when I lived back home in Illinois, and then from here, when I moved over here to Indy, I actually ran my modified, and then sold everything that I owned, kind of like you're saying. I realized what it was gonna take to run up front. So I sold everything, and that's how I started my business. Basically, I sold every nut, bolt, truck, trailer, everything I owned. So I get that totally.
And went back to making money.
Yeah, well, sometimes at least, right?
That's always the
And
goal.
yeah, and that's something that I we're talking here before the stream. That's something I just learned about you. You're in the trades, if you will,
Yep.
and obviously, I know how well that can tailor into the either big car world or RC like we do now. Um, Working with your hands, working with your brain, way more than your hands for the most part. With making things and it's I swear, like when you're in the manufacturing side, you look at everything in this world and everything in this planet is a totally different way.
Yep.
Um, so I'm sure I would love to go in a even further a deep dive on kind of what you do for a living and talk about kind of how that implements from your day to day. I'm sure the brain never turns off at
No.
work, and I'm sure the brain never turns off too. Now that you've been doing it for so long, even on the manufacturing side, right? So you've been doing, I think you said, since you were 16.
Yep.
So if you go from there, your mechanical abilities, obviously it goes deep. So when you look at your RC car, I mean, I'm sure, I mean, that's how my brain works. I just see this like playground of things that I want to change and work on all the time. So
it definitely helps with thinking outside the box. I mean, the goal, especially RC wise, is always to be faster every time. So
mhm.
if you get comfortable and you get inside a box and you don't ever reach outside of it, it's that's where you're going to stay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
with the machining and engineering side of things, I mean, it definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. So when outside of all of that, so how long have you been, would you say, have you been into the RC side of things?
14 years, I think I've been doing
14
this.
years. Nice. And then did you start kind of, walk us through your journey kind of from, year 14, or we're on year 14 now. So take us back to year 1 and put together a little timeline for all of us to understand what year 1 now to year 14 looks like, and what all that, how we got to here basically.
The guys that saw me year one, but it was a struggle bus. I had a car that wouldn't turn left or right, and it it was wild that I even kept doing it. That car was a pile. Uh, the guy that had it before me, I don't know what or why it had Heims on it, and all the Heims were all Loctited, basically solid,
Oh,
and
wow.
that thing was terrible.
Yeah.
Uh, I had guys like Mouse, Steve Quartermouse, help me out quite a bit. Started pointing me in the right direction. Uh, I got rid of that car. Started getting a little different cars. SC mod was always my thing. That's where I wanted to stay, was in SC mod. I loved that class. I still love that class.
Yep.
Uh, Started branching out. Me and Todd Frolic, if anybody knows Todd Frolic, he used to drive Gravedigger. Him and I became good friends. We started. Ended up getting a sprint car after he did, and my goal with the sprint car was to learn the setup on it and try to get faster with my SC modified by learning more from the sprint car.
Okay.
And
But take me back to that first car. Was that an SC mod that had all the Heims and everything
it,
Loctite
it
together?
was, it
Okay.
was.
And so was that like you kind of the natural entry? Was that more of like a, was that still quote unquote buggy based, or was that like Traxxas based then, or what did that look like to get into that?
So that thing was Traxxas based,
Okay.
and I mean, instead of jumping into the spec classes like I probably should have and learned how
Mhm.
to walk before I learned how to run, I went straight into the big motors and figured out, on the way, sink or swim,
Mhm.
basically.
Yep. Retweet.
And
I've everybody tells me I should be in 13.5 right now, so I get it.
I I don't know. I have mixed feelings on the spec classes. I'm not a huge fan of them.
Mhm.
I think your spec classes are. I think you spend more money in your spec classes than you would on your mod classes.
Oh, 100%. 100, there's, yeah, no doubt. I agree with that 100%.
But get when I started working my way through, me and Todd started getting where every week we were talking, trying to figure out where all the fast guys were going because we wanted to be better all the time. We were every week, where's the big races? Where's your fast guys going to be? And we were chasing them, just
Mhm.
trying to learn anything we can. And I started getting, I got to where I could wheel the SC mod pretty good. Got to where I was winning the local races,
Mhm.
and then I started getting some of the bigger races. I started at least making the A's and finishing up front with them. C4 brought me on, run for them for a little while. Uh, Shortly after jumping on with C4, Bodies by Ed was kind of killing everybody in the SC mod world. You had Dreameyer had a SC mod that was just unreal from Bodies by Ed, and
Mhm.
Bodies by Ed brought me on. I run for them for quite a while. Uh, once Bodies by Ed kind of started tapering down, they weren't coming out with really any new stuff, and just seemed like it wasn't going any farther. Team GFRP hit me up. I felt like I was at least, I knew the ropes. I knew what to do with the car, when to do it, stuff like that. I didn't have quite the setup knowledge that I have now, but
Sure.
I was decent on what to do with the car. And Team GFRP brought me on, and learning from those guys was huge. The knowledge that was brought to me, and working with those guys was huge, and really really helped my racing game.
Mhm.
And from there, I mean, here we are. I'm still with Team GFRP. Uh, I feel like racing wise, uh, you know, if I show up somewhere, the game plan's to win,
Mhm.
and you know, there for a while. I mean, if I didn't make the A main, I was disappointed in myself
Sure.
whenever I was doing the traveling and running.
Yeah.
That was always the goal. But the slideways, how I got tied in with them, we we had a guy that was working the track. He was doing the announcing and stuff like that, and he got burnt out. He was tired of working the track. And it was every weekend, and he pretty much was like, "I'm not doing it anymore." And I had helped out working the big track at our local track, and I knew it was going to be hard on sideways to keep going if they didn't have anybody to work the track weekly.
Right.
And I jumped on board. I took the undertaking and said, I'll do it. Sideways brought me on. I'd always kind of been a part of Sideways anyway, but Chili Salter. Uh, but I I had set goals for it and tried to learn what I can as quick as I could from working the track, and I mean, still doing that.
Sure. So when you say when you got started there, was the outdoor track still a thing as well? About
Uh,
back behind?
yeah, when the outdoor track was, well, it was in Vandalia where the outdoor track was. I was always there at Slideways, and I mean, I'd help if they needed help, but I wasn't a
Uh-huh.
part of Slideways when the outdoor track was there.
Got it. Okay.
That was uh, that was a hidden gem in the RC world. That place was amazing.
Uh-huh. Heck yeah. Yeah, then and because that I remember, I know I'm still, a younger guy and stuff in the world and all that, but like I when I first got into the hobby, I was always off road and all that from back in Illinois. There really wasn't a ton of it wasn't what it is now, right? The oval scene was not what it was. It was basically Allen's was the only real oval scene at the time. So I always ran like RJD and leisure hours, things like that. But when you say the bodies by Ed, all the BBE stuff, that was like that was heyday. That if you could get a BBE kit, man, like you were doing something back in the day. So that was cool for you to bring BBE back up. I had honestly forgotten kind of about that brand and everything. So it's a shame that it's not. I don't even think it's around anymore. But
Uh,
it's
I think I think Ed gave it up.
yeah. But cool. So you kind of get your feet wet into the RC side, like as far as the track is concerned, still through Slideways. So it's always been essentially what it is. Then it's always been that indoor at the fairgrounds at the Brownstown Bull Ring. So talk us through some of the changes and things that you know that you've necessarily been a part of. And obviously there's all kinds of other guys that are there that do great things. Pasley and all those guys are obviously huge parts of it as well. But what is it? I feel like maybe you've stepped up to the plate. You and Pasley have stepped up to the plate quite a bit here in the last few years, maybe if that'd be a fair statement. So what does that look like? Kind of what you just talked about up until current day with Slideways and how the track looks now versus kind of how it used to.
So used to, I mean, it didn't have quite the banking that it has now.
Mhm.
Whenever Josh had the vision of what he wanted that indoor track to look like, and Stacy Stewart and Kirk Forbes put it all together, got it in there. J. Rod Ramsey was a big part of that too, of getting the track in there and shaped how they wanted it and whatnot. Uh, and when Jeb was running, I mean the track was always good. We were tired open back then. We don't tired open sideways anymore, but it would always lock down on the bottom, and you had 3 car width groove that the track was fast. I mean, we were running clear down in the 3.9s in that track. So I mean, the
Wow.
track was about the same size that it is now, but it was insanely fast and could be hard on tires, obviously from the tired open and whatnot. But when Jeb had quit and we had jumped on board with PTs when PTs announced that they was going to get rid of the tire dope, I was like,
Mhm.
I think that's a great idea. Get rid of the headaches and whatnot, if nothing else.
Yep.
But we had a night. I farmed the track, like I always did, and we ran, and the track got real slick on bottom, and with the banking like it was never really a you could run up there and be fast. It was never like that, but it got so slick on the bottom one night that we could start running all over the track. And I kind of had the thought of, if I could get a little more banking in the track, that we could run all over that thing. But the pain with that is there's no real good piece of equipment that you can go out there and just quickly work the track once you put that banking in.
Right.
So with shovels and brooms, we worked that track, or I worked that track, and Jeb had helped me get it kind of shaped how I wanted, and we started by hand building banking in that track.
Wow.
And the next weekend when we come out, it had a few rough spots, but we was ripping the top. And you could run middle, you could run bottom. I was like, there we go.
Yep.
That was for just a winging it for a first time guess. We was pretty close on the first go of it.
Nice.
So that was awesome to be able to literally by hand carve that thing out. It felt like, and it sucked doing it, but it was worth it in the long run.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not that I certainly haven't been all over the country, but I feel like I've been to a lot of dirt ovals, indoor and outdoor. And that's what I tell everybody that I come across. Like, there's nothing quite like slideways. Like, it's totally its own beast, man. And it's so much fun. Um, but one of the things that I find really, really interesting is it at least to it feels like with that kind of central Illinois Midwest crowd now. I mean, as far as the premier level or elite level tracks, I mean, it's PTs and slideways now is like you are the guys. So I mean, how does that make you feel to be? I mean, I don't think it's one and two, right? Like I don't look at it, PT's number one, slideways number two. Like it's 1A, 1B, and I know that it hasn't necessarily always been that way. Like, so how does that feel to? I mean, I think everybody in the hobby feels the traction, right? I mean, you're almost
Yep.
splitting the field at this point. People go down there, or people say at PTs. So how does that feel? What do you think about that?
I love it, and Tom and that crew over there at PTs, those guys are top of the line. I mean, those are
Oh,
great
next
guys.
level. Yep,
Yep,
absolutely.
and Tom is great to work with. I mean, we reach out to them. Hey, what are you guys going to do for the next year? And we're trying to stay on the same path basically, because
Mhm.
we want cars to be able to come from our place and go there and race, and same for them. And what was it? It was a week or two ago. They had, gosh, I want to say they had like 165, 170 entries at PTs. And that
Mhm.
same exact night, 2 hours south of them, we had 130, I think, entries.
Mhm.
And that's amazing to be able
Right.
to, I couldn't remember if they had a big race or not. And we had the shark race that night. And to be able for both places to pull cars like that, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yep. Yeah, and that's it's two totally different animals, but in the same breath, it's it's not in the same way. Like each one of you, your tracks, everybody has like its own characteristics. There's guys that run really good at PTs that's going to run really good at slideways, and there's some slideways guys that are going to run, same back and forth, just like you're alluding to, being able to go both and working together, because PTs is kind of like on a every other week schedule, and where it seems like you guys race feels like a little bit more, so it's able to, you're able to hit those, in between sections it's really good. So, but yeah, man, I don't have enough good things to say about slideways. What you guys have done, it's like it's the coolest atmosphere. I feel like, it's a totally different atmosphere from PT. Like when you go to PTs, you feel like you're walking into, I don't even know what to compare it to, but you're walking in like, it's impressive. But then you walk
Yes.
into slideways and it is just as impressive, but it's on a totally different realm. Like you're not going to race the same, race when you go into both. It's like you're going into the Roman Coliseum, if you will. It's when you go to slideways, and when you go to PTs, you're having to, like, it's like almost like you're in the future. It feels like, as far as the hobby is concerned. So it's
Right.
two totally different ends of the spectrum. But I hope that anybody watching this that hasn't been to either one of those tracks, like if there's two tracks you're going to go to, slideways and PTs, like there's no, like, that's it. Them are the two that you need to see, especially for wintertime indoor. It's the best.
They are definitely bucket list tracks, both, if you haven't been to
Yep.
either of them.
Yep. Yeah, and especially, man, you get all the quote unquote fast guys up there on the top. Oh my man, it's fun. You gotta it's sideways. You almost have to have a helmet on. It feels like sometimes if you're going to stand around the railing.
So this last weekend when we ran, so we had like 60-degree temps all week long. And when I worked the track and come in, I opened it up Saturday morning, and when I walked in there and walked on the track, I was like, "Whew, it's going to be fast." I mean, it had been humid all week, and the track kept every ounce of water that I had put on it, and that thing, we was ripping on that thing all night long. It
Nice.
was smooth, and it was, I want to say we rolled 4.2s for most of the night. It was insanely fast.
Wow. And that's one of the really interesting things about slideways too that I've noticed. If from any given week, I mean, the lap time swing is so much more, it feels like drastic at slideways than it is at any other track. Like, you kind of what you're going to run when you go to these other tracks, but slideways, I mean, one time I was there, I mean, I think it was like a 4.5 was like, I
Yep.
mean, just screaming your balls off. And then the next week you get on live RC and it's like, you guys are in the freaking threes almost. Like, what are we
Yep.
do? It's just crazy how much different it is, but it's still that same consistent level of, fun. It's just
Right.
the coolest place. I know I sound like a fangirl right now about it, but I can't get enough Slideway. I tell everybody how great Slideways is.
So what also makes the track unique is it underneath the track is there's no concrete floor. Like the pits are all concrete, but underneath the racetrack, it is dirt all the way
Yep.
through. So if it's below freezing or 0 degrees all week long, I mean, we don't run the heat in that building. In that it's a old horse barn is what it is, and we don't run heat in that building all week long. There's no way we'd be able to afford it,
Mm,
and the the track's going to be cold. It just ain't going to have the bite that it should have. So
right.
as much as it's an indoor track, I mean, it's going to act like an outdoor track depending on temperature.
Yeah, and one of the things, especially, we got 35 people in here that are cruising around 35 to 40. If any of you have never been to Slideways, the way I always describe it to anybody that I'm talking to is you basically walk in at the top of the track. And I think that gets lost too on the coolness factor, and you have to talk about that. Like when you walk into that track, you're walking into the high side of the track to where
Yep.
basically the bottom of the wall that's at the top of the racetrack is into that concrete you're talking about. So
Yep.
you look over and you're down into this bowl, which is such a different feeling than anyway. Like when you go to PTs, right? I mean, it's built up 2 foot or so, and you step up onto it. Where when you walk into Slideways, it is you look down onto the racetrack, and I think that gets lost in translation, especially when describing that to people. It's a totally different experience that is really cool. And I mean, so yeah, talk about that a little bit too, because it's really sweet.
I mean, it's all unique. Everything about it. We have two driver stands. That's completely different than most places. Most places you have just one to choose from, and there you are. Uh, the old driver stand is on the backstretch. That's where we used to always race. And then when we did because that racetrack used to be like lime on the inside when Slideways first had it. It was
Okay.
basically a high bite lime track. And when we pulled that dirt out and did this configuration of what we've got now, uh, that's when we had shortened it because it used to be from where that driver stand is on the backstretch to the concrete wall across the horse trailer or the
Okay.
horse barn. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
it was wide, and we still only used about the same run line that we're running now. So it was pointless to have it clear out to the concrete wall. So we shortened or basically took a lot of the width off the track
Sure.
and put the driver's stand where now the front stretch is. Uh, but yeah, when you walk in, especially with the new lighting this year, that's helped a ton.
Mhm.
You walk in, it's bright. The it's a different racetrack. To see the banking and to actually walk out onto that banking of that track versus any other RC track that's out there right now and dirt oval, it's different.
Yeah.
Uh, about the closest thing that I've seen to it was an outdoor track. Uh, Willard, Missouri, for the guys that have run that, that was a high bank. It was a much bigger track. That was about the size of Allen's, but that was a high
Yep.
bank. Put your right rear up on the wall and let her eat.
And I've personally I haven't been there yet, but there's a track in Michigan called the Crater.
Yeah, I've
Um, uh,
heard of it.
so that's the closest. Like just looking at videos and stuff, that's the closest comparison I have. Is the Crater to what Slideways is. And I've heard of Willard before. I've never seen it, but I've heard of the track. But and then in alluding to that second driver stand you guys built, that's now like what would be the main driver stand with the little pit entrance and everything.
Yep.
You and I both we're not short guys or little guys by any means. So that's a I always get a different perspective as well. I feel like my head's in the ceiling almost when you go up and get because you're looking so far down onto the
Right.
track on that newsstand. And I tried to drive when I was there probably a month or two ago now. The last time I was there, I tried to drive on the backstretch, and that was like I couldn't even. I was so used to being looking basically straight down at the cars that when I was on
Yep.
the backstretch, like at a normal level, how you are at normal tracks, I couldn't do it anymore. It was interesting.
And the pit lane basically on that driver's stand, we stole that from PTs. I mean, as honest as could be, I saw PTs had that, and I'm like, man, guys, as fast as we're rolling around this racetrack,
Mhm.
basically to try to get off of that racetrack, you were going to get your car broke
Yeah.
and to try to reach down and grab it because on the straightaways, 90% of the time you're coming up to that wall.
Oh yeah, and I feel on the backstretch where a lot of those guys race. I mean, it
Yes.
is you're taking your car's life in your own hands. I mean, I don't know that I've been there. I mean, it's almost an every week thing. Somebody gets clipped if you're
Yeah.
trying to drive on the backstretch. So I get it totally. Farmer City is the same way. Farmer City has an awesome where you pull it right up to your feet. PTs
Yeah.
is that same way. I personally I feel like every track should. I think Tony's track in Kempton. I think he has that. I've seen. I haven't been there. I'm gonna go there this summer, but yeah, I think that's almost like should be a standard basically at this point because it's
I agree.
just doesn't make much sense. Any other, BB Mods doesn't, but his track's so wide that you could kind of get way out of the run line and things like that. But yeah, there are some tracks that I've been to. It's like, man, you are like I've been to tracks where you have to pull the infield and wait, and
Yeah.
then you can pull them off because
And
it's too
even still
much.
pulling it off, it's still a coin toss.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we've touched on slideways quite a bit here. We kind of got off on we kind of stopped at your journey at right when you got into sprint cars. So you were running SC mods and trying to apply what you were learning in SC mods to make your sprint car game faster. So
Yep.
take us from there, and then let's get out to year 14 here, and then let's talk CR7.
So with the sprint cars, I want to say what I have an Outlaw 3, I think was my first sprint car, and then when I got on with Bodies by Ed, I'd still been running that Outlaw Sprint. they came out with what was that thing called? I can't remember what I want to say it was the Blade was the B6 version of
Yes.
the
Yep.
Bodies by Ed sprint car.
Yep.
Had the quick cage on it. Uh, I wish I knew the things that I knew now about the cars because I had to yank that thing off that car. It was handy to get to the battery, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Uh, I was actually fortunate enough. I won some decent races with that car. I don't know how. I mean, I was way overmotored, and there were things on that car I wish I could change now.
Right.
But then I got on GFRP, and we were on the 3.0s then when I got on the GFRP.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, it was like a light switch when I got with them and got to work with them a little bit. Kind of got some bases for the cars and got a little bit of testing out. And man, I feel like I come out on fire with those GFRP cars. I had a couple years in a row there. I swept the Hell Tours at Brad's races.
Nice.
I got tons of trophies from all that stuff. Uh, man, I don't know. I don't know where else to go with my racing.
Yeah.
Uh,
If we're now we're kind of here present day. You're a Team GFRP driver. You're a force to be reckoned with. Basically everywhere you go, you stay kind of sideways now. But I'm sure it's blatantly obvious you're going to be fast wherever you go, and you're not just a sideways guy. Um, so now let's talk about you are the owner of CR7 Dirtworks. So let's talk about why you did that and where did where did you see CR7 coming into kind of our hobby and why does it exist?
so always try to be helpful to, especially your new guys coming into the track. Try to be helpful to anybody who's got setup help or looking for setup help. I try to be a guy that'll reach out and point everybody in the right direction. Uh, there were times when I was learning that I didn't feel like I had that. Uh, Dreemeyer helped me a ton. I bugged that guy nonstop. I'm pretty sure I just started blowing his phone up until he was like, "This kid's never going to go away," and we became friends.
Nice.
Because hey, I mean, he didn't really have a choice. He gave me the option that I could reach out to him, and I took full advantage of it and never stopped. Still to this
Awesome.
day.
Yep.
But try to help guys out at the track. I had somebody ask me if I would build a car for them, and I was like, I mean, never really done that for anybody, and uh, started started the gears turning in my head, and I called Dustin and was like, "Hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing this CR7 Dirtworks thing and building cars, kits, whatever anybody wants, set cars up, and kind of bounce the idea off him." And he was like, "Yeah, do it, go for it." And I pulled the trigger on it, and here we are. Year 3 of CR7 Dirtworks, and man, I feel like it has gained tons of traction this year. I had November and December was nuts for me. I feel like I was doing at least 3 to 4 cars a week for guys.
Holy
Just
cow. Awesome.
it was nonstop. I mean, great. I love it that it's gained that much traction. But I was like, whew, in much more than this, and I'm going to have to hire a guy to come. Well, I need my boy to get old enough that I can just be like, here, build this.
Heck yeah. Yep. Awesome. He can be your subassembly guy here in a couple of years at
Yeah,
least. At minimum, you have a subassembly guy.
and then I'll have that phase there where he'll get old enough that he'll want in on the money portion of it.
Yeah. Well, you can just tell him you prepaid, right? You
Yeah,
got him to this point, so you're prepaid up. Everything's good. So let's keep peeling the onion back a little bit here. So it's been what 2 or 3 years now. You said with CR7
3, I
since you
think.
started it 3.
Yep.
So how many rough guesstimate. You don't have to give exact numbers, but how many cars have you done? How many customers do you have out there? Are they all Midwest based? Can anybody from around the country reach out to you? And what's the best way to to get a hold of you even.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I think that my messenger was messed up there for a little while on CR7 Dirtworks. I think I got that figured out.
Okay.
But yeah, anybody can reach out to me. I mean, I've had guys clear out in Minnesota that I've helped, and they just send me their cars, kind of give me an idea what they're looking for, and I'll send it back to them. Uh, the guys around here in the Midwest, obviously I feel like I can help more because I
Mhm.
can be or I've been at the tracks that they run, so I kind of got an idea of what the car is going to need to be like.
Mhm.
Uh, the guys that come to Slideways, obviously I'm there. Uh, and in time, I feel like uh, I'll be able to get out more at even your outdoor tracks and help out more there if this continues going well.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, reach out to me on Facebook. That's how everybody's been doing it, and we'll get it lined out.
Cool. And so do you have, as far as the, for lack of a better term, let's call it consulting, do you have, say, like a monthly subscription service type deal,
Nope,
or some, or
no,
anything like that? Or how does that work? Do you need to obviously you'll help anybody. I know that about you. That's no issue. But
yep,
say, you have a CR7 customer. To be a customer, do you feel like you need to build their kit first, or can somebody come to
no,
you with a
no.
kit and say, "Hey, I need help," or what does that look like?
So I've had some guys that some friends of mine that their friends, were struggling with a car, and they have told them, "Hey, reach out to Cole. He'll help you out with the cars." And they knew I had the CR7 Dirtworks, and they're like, "I mean, I'm just trying to get setup help with this thing. I'm struggling." And obviously, for something like that, if I'm just going to offer you advice, no, I'm not. I'm not charging nobody for that. I mean,
Sure.
you can text me, message me, whatever, and like the rest of the GFRP guys, you should be able to hit up any of those guys, and especially if you're struggling with the cars, and they'll help, and 90% of them will.
Right.
Uh, but what I'm doing is more for like your time constrained guys, the guys that I don't have time to build this kit, but I really want to run this kit. Will you build this for me?
Right.
Or if they don't, I mean, if they just don't want to do it, if they feel like they don't know how, or if same thing with the setup wise, if they're like, man, I'm struggling with this car, uh, and can't figure it out, can I send it to you and see what you can find on it? That's where if you send it to me and I have my hands on the car, that's where we'll start in on. I'll quote you on what I think it's going to cost.
Right. I mean, you got your time in it and everything else. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So take Cole Rhodes, the Team GFRP driver, out of the equation, and let's talk to Cole Rhodes, the CR7 Dirtworks owner, into the equation for a second. Will CR7 also help, or build even custom works cars, or velocity cars, or are you tied into, you have to do GFRP stuff?
Any car.
Anything? Okay.
I've done Traxxas cars for guys. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. Anything. Awesome.
yep. I mean, as long as it's dirt oval based, you start reaching off road, and I'm going to say things to you like, I can probably build this, but I don't have a clue if it's going to be right.
Yeah, it'll go around the track at least, and nothing will fall
It'll
off
make
of it. So,
it'll make left hand turns like nobody's business if you want it to.
yeah, no warranty on the right hand turns, but you can handle
That's
left
right.
hand pretty good. Beautiful,
Yeah, right hand turns are not my forte.
cool. Well, that's good, because I mean, obviously, I think you see, people see potentially, the GFRP rep,
Sure, sure.
involved with CR7. I just didn't want somebody to think you only do, GFRP
Nope.
stuff. So that's good. So yeah, anybody on here basically anything dirt oval, if you guys need anything, make sure that, and you have a Facebook page. We've plugged it. My wife slash producer here has plugged.
Producer.
Yeah, yep, has plugged it into the comments. So the Facebook link's there. So make sure anybody who has it, or sees that, or wants to use Cole's services, it's right there. So,
Appreciate that.
but yeah, no, dude, I think it's cool. There's not too many guys. I know there's some guys that offer, like build services and stuff. And I mean, heck, I would even enjoy that. Honestly, I love building the cars.
Sure. Yep.
But but I'm quite a bit of ways away from that. Still, I'm still wrapping my own program up a little bit here, but no, dude, that's awesome. And is there anything else that you want to touch on for CR7 that what you want everybody to know, or you think people should know that maybe they don't, or anything like that?
I feel like we covered the big ones. Like you
Yep.
said, I feel like there were guys out there that, especially with me being a GFRP guy, that didn't know if I'd help or if I'd work on anybody else's stuff. I mean, I'll help anybody. You got questions, you can ask. And if I
Awesome.
don't know, I probably know the guys who will know, and I'll point you in that direction. And I am not shy to tell you I don't have a clue.
Right. Cool. Yeah, no, and I can vouch for that too. I mean, you've been nothing but helpful to me in my various stints in the hobby for sure. So yeah, you've always been one of the guys that's been awesome, and yeah, so cool, man. Well, I've taken up almost enough of your time. I've got a couple closing questions for you. We've been at this for almost an hour already. Believe it or not, it feels like about 5 minutes sometimes. But so, what is one thing, one like tech tip or piece of knowledge for around the whole RC side of things, whole RC dirt oval scene that you think every person should know? Whether, and that can be, like I said, a tech tip, piece of knowledge. What's one thing?
Oh, that's
Putting you
uh
on the spot.
that's that's very open ended too. I mean, there's so many things for, especially for each car.
Yep.
Uh, maintenance is everything with these things. Uh, but just like big cars, I mean, in between races, do screw checks on your cars. To a DNF, you're not learning anything. I mean, the idea is to make laps. You're not getting any better if you're not making laps. Screw checks. When you get those things home, pop the shocks off of them. Check your hinge pins. Make sure everything's free and moving like it should on that car. Uh, Man, little things on these toy cars can be a nightmare, to one, to find, and two, to fix, especially if you can't find where the issue is. Yeah, I mean, that's so open ended. If you could drag her down to be a little more specific, I could be.
Yeah. So okay. Let's say let's tailor it down to somebody getting into the hobby. So once you get to the mod side of things, or even the 13.5 late model sprint car guys, the at least the vast majority of those guys have been around.
Yep.
So what would be one piece of advice to somebody that is, maybe somebody got in here somehow, some way, and they haven't even been to a race yet, right? So I'm looking at a low C sprint car. I'm looking at a BL2 modified from Traxxas. What do you think is? Oh, Rick's going to start talking crap now. Rick just said check your pin, make sure your pinions are tight.
No, that was for his own doings.
But anyway, so somebody getting into the hobby that sees this and is like, man, I want to do this, right? Where do I start? What would you say for that?
For somebody just starting, especially if they've not bought a car yet, go to your local track first and foremost. Go to your local track and try to find your try to find the guys that look like they're making good laps out there, that are me, even your fast guys. Reach out to them, talk to them, but just talk to the guys at the track and try to get an idea of what most of the guys are running at your local track.
Mhm.
Because especially if you're just learning, I don't care what the car is. Even if they're all just running associated based cars, try to match them, especially when you're starting. Uh, Most guys that are starting are not going to have a toolbox full of parts, and you are going to break some stuff.
Yep. I was going to say, it's put knowledge from other people totally to the side. Just access to parts is
You
two
bet.
thirds of it. So
Yep, yep. And if most of the guys are running the same car that you have there, somebody's going to have parts. And I mean, I feel like the racing world as a whole, big car, little car, everybody wants to see you on the track.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're a weapon and you're one of the guys that everybody kind of struggles with. But if you're new,
Yep.
chances are people don't think that way about you.
Right. Yep. Or if you are new, you're going to be out on the track with more than likely a bunch of other new guys. So that's the other
Exactly.
good side of
Exactly.
it.
So
So if you're so you have a younger guy, younger son that's going to come up through the ranks here, undoubtedly. What's going to be his outside of the toys of our toy cars, right? What would you say? Like, where are you going to start him out when it's time to start getting serious?
uh,
Is
I've
that low C
already got.
sprint?
Oh no, yeah, I think I'll start him out probably in crate mod.
Okay.
I've got a Traxxas modified for him already. We're already messing with. He's got a Traxxas truck that he's got a little bit of learning yet. He is all throttle, no turn, and laugh at it when it runs into everything.
Make a good
So
drag racer then.
yeah, the with it being a Traxxas, fantastic.
Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, because I think that's really useful knowledge, especially kind of around the holiday season. Here, obviously, we're on the backside of the holiday season stuff now, but a parent on here sees us talking and goes, "Man, I'd really like to get my kid or my son, my daughter, whoever into the hobby. Where do I even start?" And that's that. I always try to keep that advice going to people on how to get started, even.
Yeah, the definitely if you especially if you've never ever done the RC stuff before, start with some of your slower classes if you've never driven these cars before.
Yep.
Just especially where the RC racing is at right now, it seems like every single track you go to, no matter where it is, there are top tier guys everywhere and everybody is on their game, it seems like right now, and to just jump into a sprint car right now and try to learn it, I can't even imagine. I wouldn't expect a person to stay in it for a month if they were just
Yeah.
jumping in and bought a sprint car and had never done this before. There's no way
I
they stick with it.
I don't know that you could afford to.
uh,
With all the stuff that you would inevitably would junk. I don't think yeah,
yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, there are your aliens out there, that there are guys that just pick this stuff up and are just amazing at it, but
Yep.
those guys are few and far between.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's if you had it on a graph, there's a lot of guys that start real low and then it just it constantly goes up. So I agree with that totally. Okay, so last couple here, and then we'll get you out of here. Or actually, last question: if you could give Scale Labs the our podcast here now, obviously, and doing interviews like this, if you could give 1 to 3 people and say, hey, these 1 to 3 people need to be on the show, who would you suggest those 3 people be?
Oh yeah, he's gonna hate me for this. You got to get Justin Drewmeyer on here. I mean that
Okay,
that is a have to thing. Um, man, if you could get Drewmeyer and Joe Buckley on here at the same time, that'd be even better.
okay.
Uh,
Joe Buckley is graphics, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
no, he used to be tied up with the HCG guys. Yeah,
HCG. Yep. Yep.
but no, I don't think he was ever one of the graphics guys, but he ran with all that crew, the ones that you're thinking of.
Okay. Got it. Yep. That name sounded familiar.
Uh, definitely Drewmeyer. Uh, you got to get Ryan Ralph on here.
Okay.
The that guy that guy will talk your ear off. That'll be the first 3 to 4 hour podcast that you've ever done, guaranteed.
Perfect. Yeah, I actually jumped into his. He was live the other about a week or so ago. I jumped in there and was like, "Man, we got to get you on our stream," and he was all about it. So maybe after the Chili Bowl stuff calms down, we'll try to get him on. So
There you
I'm sure
go.
that won't be a problem.
You've already had Dustin on here. Who
Against my
else would
will.
be?
Against my will, may I add.
Who else could we get on here? Let's see. Thiedens would be a good one. Ryan Thiedens.
Yep. Ryan's been nothing but great to me since I've gotten into back into it and everything, and him and Caden Brown and all those guys, they've kind of Justin Atkinson, all those guys have really, I'm the big guy around, but I feel like everybody puts me under their wing a little bit, so that's always cool. So yeah, I think Ryan would be awesome as well. I couldn't agree more. So
If you put Pasley on here, we're going to blow the comments up. So I didn't mention him because there's no way he's focusing.
Dustin Kerr, I'm in my house tonight, Dustin. So you don't have the passcode to get in, so you can't wreck it too bad. You have to bang on the glass out front at least.
He's been texting me too throughout all this.
That's awesome. But no, cool, man. Well, Cole, I appreciate the hell out of you taking your time on a on New Year's Day of all times and everything. I appreciate you so much. This has been awesome, and like I said, I couldn't have imagined a better first guy to unfortunately be my test dummy somewhat on this, but. Being able to get your story out there a little bit and get CR7's name out there a little bit more, that I can't think of a better first guy. So I really appreciate you coming on, and this has been awesome, man.
I greatly appreciate it, man. I've never been on a podcast or anything like that, and I'm I'm not good at talking about myself. So I mean, this was all kind of new for me. Uh, Typically, try to just stay humble in that department, but I mean, this all new for me here. I've enjoyed this. This has all been very very new, and I've enjoyed it.
That's awesome, man. Well, you can be humble all you want. I know, I obviously don't know you. I would say on a personal level, but I know all of your accolades from the hobby side of it, and you can be humble all you want, and I'll talk you up because you've been nothing but great to me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the track you're a part of. And you are one of the guys that is making this hobby better. So I appreciate you and everything you're about, everything you do, and I can't wait to get back down to Slideways and hang out and try to tear the front of my late model off again.
Love to hear it, man.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, I'm going to get you out of here. I appreciate you very much. We're going to keep CR7 going and keeping it getting bigger and bigger, and maybe we'll have you on for a later on in the summer season or something, and we can have an update on everything you got going on. But yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you, man. We've got a couple more announcements to do, so I'm going to get you out of here, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Well, dude, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So that was Cole Rhodes, the man, the myth. I mean, he's a legend in my eyes. He's been around for a long time, and like I said, I'll say it to his face, or him not here even. He has been nothing but great to me individually and personally, and he's great to anybody that's around. So can't say enough good things about him. Thank you, Cole, for your time and all that. That was awesome. So we've got a couple other things to let's catch up on some comments here first and see what we got going on. Draymire, I actually see that you're in here, Justin. So if you're gonna take Cole's advice, that'd be great. I'd love to have you on at some point. I'll reach out to you and you can tell me no at least. But Ryan, you and I would be. I think you and I would be a riot on here too. So glad you're in here as well. Dustin, we'll have to get you in here again also for a little bit more of a formal non-crashing type interview. Looks like Kaylee's already changed our door code, so that's great. Not only am I going to write the wrong year on all the paperwork I do for the next 3 months, but now I won't even be able to get my own house. So that's perfect. But all right, guys. So 38 people in here. For one thing that I completely forgot to talk about at the top of the show before we get into our last announcement. If you guys have noticed here, our little ticker, I've always had a little sponsor spot that's always ticking down here. It's mainly just my personal business, my manufacturing business that I have. But if you guys have noticed, TP3D has came in, and Tyler has reached out to me, and him and I have talked back and forth way before any of this started. Him and I have talked back and forth, and we've been kind of Facebook buddies. I haven't even met Tyler in person yet, but Tyler Price owns TP3D, and I believe he's in the Carolinas. I believe South Carolina is where he's located, and he's came on board, and him and I are going to be working together. He's a amazing designer and makes really, really awesome parts and kind of hop up parts and things like that for a litany of different cars. And he's a very, very intelligent individual and makes makes some pretty killer components. So we will tag his website and his Facebook page down in the comments, and we'll put that down where you guys can see TP3D 3D. And actually, I can go in. I have this right here. Oh, and we're already in there. So Kaylee's already put it in. She's rocking it. But so check him out. And that'll be great. Thank you, Tyler. If you're in here, thank you for your support. Ryan, we haven't got there yet. You did miss. If you missed the interview with Cole, though, he threw your name out. You're gonna have to come on the. You're gonna have to come on the podcast here. We've got a Cole Rhodes was on, and he gave a few. He gave a few names that need to be on the podcast, and you were one of them. So, would love. I'd love to have you on, and that'd be cool. Maybe after the Chili Bowl and stuff. I'm sure you're busy. But anyway, so we got TP3D out of the way. Thank you for all your support there. And so now, guys, I have the biggest announcement by far that I've ever done, or that I've ever done in the hobby or whatever. And yeah, so really, really cool thing going on. Yes, I could smell his cocoa butter for sure. But anyway, so we are. Yeah, I'm so excited. I don't even know how to go about bringing this up. It's honestly been probably the worst kept secret in all of secrecy at this point, because everybody I talk to basically says they already know. But we're just going to go into it. We're just going to basically rip the Band-Aid off. Without further ado, coming in May of this year. So we have a ton of friggin' work to do. But coming in May of this year, I am proud, me and my wife both are proud to announce Raceway 39. So we're still working on all that. I thought that was a really cool little transition there. But so a track is coming, an outdoor dirt oval is coming to Central Indiana. This all spawned basically from when I want to go race. This is just me personally. When I want to go race, there is nowhere that I can go sub an hour and a half anywhere from me. North, south, east, west, up, down, left, right. There's nowhere I can go. And if you eliminate one track out of that hour and a half radius, then it goes to well over 2 hours. So it is obviously frustrating, and it's something that Central Indiana, this Indianapolis area, this track is going to be about 20, round up and say 30 minutes from downtown Indianapolis. So we are just west of Indianapolis, and it's going to be really cool. So it's very, very close, and it's something that this area needs, and it's something that we need really, really bad, because we don't really have an RC community in this central area, but this is like the largest hotbed of RC racing. It has the potential to be a huge hotbed for RC racing. So it's something that basically had to happen. So that's basically that's kind of the mindset behind all of this. So with that being said, there's a couple details that I want to go over that I'm super excited about. Yeah, Dustin. Yeah, so we're like 15 minutes from Indianapolis Raceway Park. We're 20 minutes from the greatest spectacle in racing, where at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I mean, there is so many things to do. You could come and make an entire weekend out of just racing, and racing not even be the coolest thing you do. It's just we live out kind of in the rural area for sure, but we are 1 mile from the main vein interstate that goes right into Indianapolis. So there's so many awesome things that can happen, and if we do this correctly, there's so many great things that can happen out of a little track in the back 4 acres of at our house, basically. So couldn't be more excited. There's a lot of things to touch on here. I have a bunch of slides to go through. So if you guys have hung around this long, just keep hanging out. All of this, keep in mind, everything we're about to go through, it is all tentative. It's basically we have landed on it, and this is something. I mean, we've been thinking about this. Dustin Malcoat's in here. He can basically attest that this has been going on for probably 2 years or more now of this idea getting rolled out and it finally happening. So uh, keep in mind, all of this is somewhat tentative, but this is the direction that we're going with the ideas, and we can go from there. So, first few things here. I have been very, very fortunate to. I have a pretty sizable shop here on our property that we're going to be able to use. That we're going to be able to use and utilize for on these crazy hot days. Obviously, this is an outdoor track. One of the things that sucks about outdoor racing and summertime racing is it's hotter than hell. So um, we're going to basically allocate half of the shop that's here, that's going to be right next to the racetrack or right in front of the racetrack. We're going to be able to offer heated and cooled, obviously cooled, the more important part, an indoor pit area, and we're going to build that out. We're gonna start slow. Obviously this is a pretty sizable investment to make all this happen. So it's going to be bring your own tables and stuff. But if you want to pit outside, that's going to be great. We're going to have everything set up to pit outside like a normal outdoor race. But we're also going to offer that that kind of premium cooled experience to where you can pit inside, where you don't have to lug your tent and all that. So getting started, you'll have to bring a table and chairs, stuff like that. But we'll have the rest. Another thing that I think kind of that hurts tracks, and something that I've wanted to look into quite a bit, are rain dates. So I want our track anytime. So most of our races are going to be on Saturdays, and we're gonna try to do an every other week type situation, to where that way we're not saturating people where they get burnt out. And also, there's within that 2.5 hour radius. Once you get about 2.5 hours out from around the track, there's all kinds of there's a litany of different tracks, and I'm trying to work with all those guys, and been in contact with a lot of them, and we've been working with them. So that's kind of that's kind of the idea behind our schedule, as well as we want to be able to get guys and racers to be able to still feel comfortable going to other races and growing the hobby. That's what all this is about, is just continually growing the hobby. So rain dates is kind of a big thing of that, because we're always playing the weather game. I feel like, especially with outdoor tracks, we're going to do our best to try to cover it and make sure that it's the best that we can do. And obviously the indoor pits, and it'll be gravel out from the indoor pits out to the track. So it'll be quite a bit. It'll be relatively easy if we do a good job with drainage and a good job covering the track. We should be able to still race more than a lot of maybe other outdoor tracks will. But with rain dates, basically all of our Saturday races, we're going to make a promise to the racers that if we get rained out on Saturday, we're still going to race and have a program on Sunday. I understand that when we have a rain out, not everybody, if there's church or people have family things they're doing on Sundays, I understand. And I get the fact that, as the second that we move it from a scheduled Saturday and rain out, that we lose about, half to 3/4 of our, maybe 2/3 of our car count right off the rip. But people who plan on racing and still want to race, we still want to be able to do that. And there's going to be times where it's raining all weekend. And if that's the case, then, we're just going to have to roll to the next race. But I want to be able to have where people can kind of have that bank in the back of their mind, like, man, I didn't get to race on Saturday, but okay, well, it got rained out on Saturday. I can still go race Sunday. And we'll communicate that better as we keep going. But that's, again, kind of an idea and tentatively what we want to do. And that's something near and dear to me, because I know personally the heartbreak that it feels like, man, I plan on getting to go race all weekend or all week, and I was excited to go, and it rained out. So if we can do that, I think that'll be great. lastly, for this slide is one of the cool things is with having that shop, like I'm saying, that shop space, we're also going to be able to offer an on-site hobby shop for most of your major, kind of your major kits, things like that. So super excited about that. I have already reached out to some of your major players, GFRP's on board, actively talking to Custom Works, and we will have some other others as well. So parts shouldn't be an issue, and yeah. So and then we'll have the kind of the necessities, tires, things like that as well, and we'll be able to grow that hobby that type of hobby shop um, as we grow. So there's kind of that's the big three I wanted to hit on, and then we have a few others here. So getting into kind of what we're thinking as far as formats and things like that. So we're gonna race. The schedule will show every other week, but we're gonna race weekly. So on weekends or when we're not racing on a weekend, we're gonna race. We're gonna race on Tuesday nights, and that sounds crazy, and it sounds crazy to me as well. But let me explain why and where that mindset's coming from. So as we kind of just hinted on, this track is this track is 10 minutes away from, short of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're 10, 15 minutes away from hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people involved in big car racing. So IndyCar, NHRA, motorcycle racing, IMSA, SCCA, all these different types and brands and flavors of racing. And in our area, the greater Brownsburg area, if you will, the track's in Lisden. Brownsburg is kind of the next major city over. Brownsburg, the people who live and grew up in Brownsburg have or want basically nothing to do with racing. So everybody who lives or is in and around Brownsburg all the time are transplants. They're California guys, Texas guys, East Coast guys. I mean, it's everybody swarms to this area to race and chase the dream of being a crew chief, being a crew guy, working on a professional race team, things like that. So the Tuesday night racing is going to be based around. It's for anyone obviously, but it's based for those guys who just got back from a long weekend racing, having on a road trip or whatever, and they just flew back in. And these guys, most of them hang out in bars, and let's call a spade a spade. Most of you guys hang out in bars, and until it's time to go to work the next day or whatever. So trying to racers are going to race. So that's kind of the mindset behind the club racing Tuesday night deal. Everybody get off work, head to the track where we'll do practice before the races. We'll do one heat and mains. We're going to have that choked down to a select number of classes once we kind of get a feel for how who's going to be coming to the track and what cars people have, things like that. We'll kind of choke the classes down as well, but it'll be really, really good. So that's kind of our club races, and I do have a schedule already built. So we'll get into that here in just a second. And then there is Friday. There are 4. Let me check myself here before I talk. 1, 2. There are 4 Friday races on our schedule throughout the summer. Those 4 races are going to be a series. They're going to be a point series. And there is never a back-to-back as well. So we're never going to race on Friday and Saturday in that same week. But that's what, when I say Friday races, we'll do 2 heats and mains. And on Saturday, most of our Saturday races are going to be those trophy type races where we have names, things like that already kind of around the races. And it's going to be really great. So as I keep going, all this will kind of make a little bit more sense. So stay with me. That Friday Frenzy Point series, it's basically, so if you guys want to mark on your calendar, it's going to be that first Friday of every month. So that first Friday from June. So June, July, August, and September, the first Friday of those 4 months, we're going to have a Friday of Frenzy race, and we'll tally points. Maybe we'll do best 3 out of 4 with one drop or something. We'll cover all that as we go, and then one of the things that I personally can't stand about a lot of the racing that we're doing currently in the Midwest is a lot of it's going to this the not passing points but race points type racing, and personally can't stand that. And I've actually heard of a lot of people who don't care for it either. So as of right now, and if I get outvoted by everybody, we can always talk about it. But as of right now, everything's going to be that IFMAR style until we get into mains. And like I said, everything's tentative, but that's kind of where we're at. Lastly, before we get into the schedule here, each race we'll book that as a event on Facebook. That way, we can kind of get a gauge. People can say they're interested or they're coming. That way, we can get a better gauge of who's coming and all that. As well as we will have a website with all of the rules and things like that. And also on our QR code here, I'll leave that up for a few seconds. If you want to scan that, that'll take you directly to our Facebook page. And if not, you can search the Facebook page is live. You can search Raceway 39, Lisden, Indiana, and it'll come right up. So we went with Raceway 39 as kind of a little bit different. Obviously, the track is on State Road 39 here, but so that's where we got that. But trying to do something a little bit different instead of 39 Raceway or whatever, trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit hopefully more recognizable. And so that's kind of the idea behind that. So now we have the schedule. And keep in mind, guys, you can always go back into into this stream later on and feel free to go in there and you can get that QR code or anything like that if you need it, but it'll be right there. If you search Raceway 39 on Facebook, it should come right up. So obviously in red here, we have the Fall Frenzy races, and then kind of our usual suspects as far as races. Again, this is tentative, but I have all of the tracks that I could get to respond to me or have their already have their 2026 schedule published. We worked around almost every track to where we didn't step on hardly anybody, which was great. And again, reached out to a couple tracks, couldn't get a hold of them. It is what it is. We worked with what we had. So this is kind of what we're looking at here schedule wise. It is, I believe, 11 total races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 total races. So spread out throughout the summer. The one that I'm really excited about is that August 29th race. So what we're going to do there is for the mod, as of right now, at least mod classes, if we see about doing something different, we'll see about what classes, but as of right now, it'll be mod late model, mod sprint car. We're going to do single car qualifying to set heat races. So basically the entirety of that day, and we're going to figure out scoring and all that, but the entirety of that day is going to be ran like a real big car race. So we'll have practice beforehand, hot laps, and then everybody's going to come around. When you sign in for the day, you're going to reach into a bag, do a pill draw, and we're going to line you up in a line where everybody is holding their cars. You're going to set your car down. You're going to rip, you're going to take the green, rip one timed lap, pull it off. And that's how we're going to set our heat races. And then we're going to heat race straight up. No points or anything like that. We're going to heat race straight up, and then that's how we're going to set mains. So that Bullring Bash is going to be a pretty awesome race. I don't know of many places, if any places, that have done simulated the big car style racing at their at the hobby level or RC level. So we're gonna really go after that. So I'm excited about that race. I'm excited about all these races, but that's going to be a big one. But we're going to kick everything off with the on May 2nd. We'll have everything built. Everything is already kind of on its way or in the process of being ordered and brought in, from dirt to the walls to we're working through our scoring system and timing stand and all that. So everything is already in motion. Everything's been in motion well before all the rumors started happening. I think there's been rumors for a couple years now. So excited about that. Infinity. Okay, cool. So we'll do that too. So anyway, thanks Kevin for letting me know that. But okay, so everybody can kind of grab a screen grab of that. We will be putting those in as events within our on our Facebook page as well as on our website once we get that done, and it'll be great. So that's kind of the tentative schedule. Should be exactly what we're going for. I think the only we stepped on like a club race at BB Mods, and then I think one trophy race at BB Mods, and I've been talking to Brad about all that, and everything's good. So I don't think we stepped on anybody local for the most part, at least those that we could get a hold of. So, and then we kind of alluded to the Tuesday night racing. So this is going to be these are going to be what our club races are. And I need to turn I don't know why I keep saying my name every time. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. So here's kind of that Tuesday night club racing, and like I said, this is really based around those guys that are on the road that need something to do during the week, as well as any other racer, right? Like anybody who wants to come get extra laps, and or just wants to race that's local. If you want to travel, whatever, it's going to be great. So it'll be a pretty quick program, get you in and out. That way you can get back home, get to bed before everybody's got to be at work the next morning. You know, kind of timeliness is going to be the priority there. We're not going to be dragging our feet too much, but it's just going to be a great extra track time for people. So we're super excited about that, to be offering that as well. A brief little overview. This is kind of that. This is an overview of kind of the property. Again, I know this doesn't mean a lot to many folks right now, but this is kind of what we're looking at. If you're going to put indoors, obviously the pink area there, you'll pull right in off State Road 39 and be able to get right back to the track. We have a pretty sizable acreage in our backyard there, so it'll be. I think it'll be just about perfect. Like I said, if anybody wants to go back and read all this as well, or look into things, great. But Kaylee and I are very, very excited about this. It's something that we've been talking about for probably too long at this point. Don't take any don't put any weight on what the track looks like on the graph here. It's not going to be just, that's not scale or anything. We're just giving you an idea of kind of where the track's going to be, things like that. So with that said, though, guys, we've been on for an hour and a half. It's almost 9:30. I still have to get a bunch of cars done, a bunch of things done before I'm actually going to go run the Four Rocks race in Illinois over the weekend, see my mom and dad and hang out with them, and see a bunch of my Illinois buddies and get to race and have a good time. So more than happy I'll stay on here as long as anybody wants if you have any questions. But again, Kaylee and I are so incredibly excited. I think it's going to be really, really great. It's something that our area needs, and we have. I mean, the idea list is beyond extensive. It is incredible, the ideas we've got. We're right down the road from a high school. We want to trying to grow the hobby. We want to work with the high school to try to get kids involved, and there is all kinds of stuff that we have in the works, and it's going to be totally about how we can number one, how we're going to be able to implement things, and obviously it's our job to be able to deliver the product first to all of you great racers. But after that, like I said, I want to be able to grow our hobby. I want somewhere selfishly to be able to run my cars closer before I go to other big races at other tracks. And yeah, man, outside of that, I mean, I couldn't be more excited. I think Kaylee's excited. You pretty excited? She's shaking her head at least. It's going to be great, guys. We're going to completely bust our butts to make this the absolute best we can. And something else that I feel very strongly about, not that this necessarily matters, but like I'm not going to race at my own track. Like, I have no desire to do that. I'll practice and do all that stuff if I need to, warm up for a race that I'm going to or whatever. But I am solely dedicated to when we're having races here, I'm going to be running a track. So I'm super excited about that. The idea of that is great, but I don't ever want to have any. I have a buddy of mine who says all the time that you want to separate church and state. So we'll make sure that we'll make sure that when you guys are here, my sole focus, although I'm a racer at heart, my sole focus is to make sure um, that you guys are having the best experience, and I'm able to provide the best product that we possibly can. So, with that said, Dank, that'll be awesome, man. I'd love to have you, Anthony. Yeah, I hope it's a game changer. I hope it's a game changer for our area, and I think it's going to be really really good. So I'm excited. If anybody has any questions, I will stay on here all night long answering questions if we need to. I'm more than happy. I mean, we're kind of an open book. If anybody's not comfortable asking questions here in the comments or anything like that, um, please send a message to me personally. I would prefer you send any messages that you can that's track related. Please follow. First of all, follow the Raceway 39 Facebook page. That's going to be the best way to get any and all information. That's going to be the quickest way to get information. And that's going to be the first place we post anything ever about the track is going to be there. And obviously, once the weather kind of turns and it's not as it's not as winterized outside, all of the track build and everything is going to be documented really well, and all of that. So obviously, we're going to have to hustle. Obviously, it being first of the year, but it's only 5 short months away. So, but Bruce, let's see. Bruce said, "All good, man. Are you in Tulsa now, Bruce, or are you just watching?" But okay, so the plan is we are going to open our first race is scheduled for May 2nd. The Spring Fling 50 will be on May 2nd, Bruce. So that's the plan there. Obviously, we'll be testing a lot of things and stuff before then, but we will be open to the public for our first race as of May 2nd. So, but yeah, I mean, we've kept still 20 people in here after the announcement. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, please please drop them in here. Like I said, I have no problem. I'll stay in here all night long to answer anything that you guys may have. Another thing we touched on for anybody who's hasn't been here for the start of the stream, Scale Labs is going more to a podcast like interview style, much like you've seen tonight with Cole Rhodes. Cole was awesome. I don't think that could have went much better with him in that interview. So I got to get better as an interviewer, but it'll get better every week. So excited about that. We got upgrading our equipment, things like that, which is awesome. Moved inside, so things are a little Wi-Fi is a little better and all that too. So thanks, Bruce. No, that's the sole goal of what this is all about. So. And I reading back through the comments here. There's a lot of cool things about the track too. We're kind of out in our rural little community, but literally a eighth of a mile up the road, we've got a killer ice cream stand that's open in the summertime. We've got a killer pizza place. We've got I literally think that the barbecue the rusted silo that's there right here in Lisden. I literally think that's like, Kaylee, would you say that's probably the top 3 barbecue joints in Indiana? Like literally?
It's literally a little shack.
Right. It may be number 1. Yeah. But so we're going to, and then we also have a really awesome like little bakery, bakery / like coffee joint that's right up the road. So it's going to be really, really awesome. And, we have all kinds of cool, and there's a gas station, a Dollar General, kind of all the little small town feels, but it's right up the road. So if you need to go get something or it's right, whatever it needs to be, it's right here. So it's going to be awesome. Tony, awesome question there. Everything will be the most up to date stuff. So anybody with the modern MyLapse transponder stuff will be able to race. Yes, sir. Awesome question. Thank you for thanks for pointing that out. I meant to actually put that on my details list, and I missed that. So no big deal. Uh, Bruce, the track is in Liston, Indiana, Lizton, Indiana. It's on State Road 39. If you go over to the Facebook page, the actual address and everything's listed right there. So I'm shamelessly plugging. Go follow the Facebook page, and then you'll see the address right there. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It basically it comes down to how we're how we're going to be able to implement this and how we're going to be able to hold up our end of the bargain. So it's all the only thing this is about is being able to grow our hobby and bring dirt oval racing um, to this area. So okay, yeah, Tony with the new transponder stuff. I think a lot of guys are on the newer stuff, but we'll try to find a way. We'll try to find a way to accommodate anybody. We'll work through that. But great, yeah, that is a good point. All the older stuff won't work. I know that they're I can't think of it right now what the name of them are, but the little like they're smaller black transponders. Um, they're not. I don't think it's called 2 wire, but we'll work through that, Tony. We're still, like I said, everything is kind of, it's not fluid like everything is happening, but we'll still roll with the punches, and we've got until May to kind of perfect our system. So whatever we got to do to make that work, we'll make that work. Obviously, it makes a lot more sense, I think, to go that modern route as we're trying to grow the hobby. So, but yeah, cool, Bruce. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, there it is, Anthony. Thank you. So MRT and AMB. I will look into that, guys. The honest answer is I haven't looked into that side of the for the MRT and the AMB stuff. Obviously I know that exists, but the main what we're going to be mainly looking into the the more modern MyLab stuff. But if somebody this we don't want to deter anybody from the track. If I will have 3 cars sitting on my bench that I'm not racing, we'll jerk the transponders out of there. We'll have vernal transponders, whatever it takes. We will make it work. So, and I'm not worried about that. But fair question, everybody. I understand. There's a lot of guys that do have the MRT stuff. I think the AMB is the MRT is the more the more modern old stuff, and the A and B stuff. I don't know that many people run those anymore. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think the A and B stuff's very relevant anymore, which is fine. No biggie. Josh is pumped up. That's awesome, man. Can't wait to have you over here. It's going to be great. I think I seen your name, Josh, is on the registered list for Four Rocks, so I'm excited to see you tomorrow or Saturday. So that'll be good. But keep them coming, guys. We still got about 20 people in here. Any questions you got? I'm an open book. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know, and then we will add it to our list to make sure that we get answers. So, and obviously with the use of the live streams and stuff that we're doing now, more and more, I'm sure we'll be having live streams about the track, things like that, to answer any questions as things develop. I'm really focused on creating a lot of content. We'll be creating a lot of content around the track build and things like that. So, luckily, it's just dirt oval, so we don't have to worry too much. But it's been pretty awesome to see how many people were even in here tonight. It was pretty awesome. So, we're going on a little over an hour and a half. Cole was in here for about an hour, so I've been rambling about this exciting new track for a while now. Yeah, JV, we'll do. Samco needs to get on the live game too a little bit, I think, but I just haven't figured out. There's a lot of NDAs surrounding my work, so we gotta make sure all that's protected. But content's king, man. So we gotta try to work through all that and whatever it takes. So I'm gonna put this up a little bit behind me here so everybody can get the gist of what's going on. But please, guys, I know I keep beating a dead horse, but if anybody has any questions, anything that they want answered or anything like that, I will be at Four Rocks this weekend. I'm happy to answer any questions there. And again, I have no qualms about saying I don't know something. If I don't know what the answer is going to be, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you some fancy answer just to get you to come to the track. The track's going to speak for itself, I think. So let's see, Kevin. So currently you are Erling Tulsa's flip count with awesome. Oh, yeah. Nobody play a drinking game. How many times I've said awesome? That would be bad. All right, I'll try to cut down. I'll try to cut down on the awesomes. Didn't realize I was saying awesome all the time. Ain't nothing like hearing a machine hog. That is true. About wore my lathe out. My lathe's been going like crazy here recently. Everything's been going here crazy recently. Anthony embarked on this with Darlington Raceway a year ago. Congrats. Thank you, man. Oh, Anthony, I didn't. I am so sorry, Anthony. I didn't realize that you were you. So cool, man. That is awesome. Hopefully, I've been wanting to get into the carpet stuff a little bit. I have been meaning to get over there and see you guys, and just purely haven't had a chance to yet. Um, but Bill, I love Bill. So Bill Malakote, Dustin's brother, is obviously a big part of what you guys are doing with Oval Works and all that. So excited to see that. So very, very cool. Very nice to meet you through a live stream, Anthony. I would love to have you on the podcast portion of this. Actually, we're not going to talk about the track every episode, obviously. So we'd love to have you on the podcast. So that'd be great. Let's see, Jamie sounds great. So Kevin and Jamie both just asked questions about the track. The blunt answer as of right now is I've got about 18 different layouts, so I don't know truly what it's going to be yet. With that being said, the goal is to I want to try to implement as many of some of the best tracks that we've all know to come we've all know and love, and try to put that together the best that I can. Obviously, that's not. We're very, very fortunate in the aspect of we really don't have sizing limitations, so I don't have a box that I've got to fit into. Um, so that is good. My gut tells me, and again, take what I'm about to say with a 100% grain of salt. This could, if I say we're going to have 29 degrees of banking, it next week it could be flat. So take this for what it's worth. My gut tells me that I'm going to build something that has pretty decent banking in it, so that we can get that multiple line where we don't have to race around the tube type of track. Um, that is kind of what I like banking. I like being able to race all over a racetrack. I hate the idea of everybody coming and racing nose to tail around around the tube, and nobody can pass. Yeah, to Tony's point, obviously we want to be different, right? We want to take everything that's good about all these different tracks and make it into Raceway 39. So um, I know personally I like tracks with pretty good amount of banking on them, because typically banking, especially with the RC car stuff, allows for easier multi groove racing. I also don't care for giant, massive tracks. So, I'd like to build a tight, close little bull ring that's got some banking in it. Again, take that for what it's worth. Next week, we might have a track that is so long that it's gonna be long and flat. So I can just tell you what's kind of in my heart, and as we're building it, we're gonna mold it into something great. I have no doubt about that. So that's what it is. A mini IMS on dirt. I don't know, honestly, Josh. Speaking of that, I would say Anthony at Darlington. That's the mini IMS. Realistically, like that track, that kind of is the IMS of this area. So if you're into that, and if you're into the carpet scene, that's I would say that's about the best IMS replica you can get. We're gonna do. It's gonna be pretty great here. So I can't say awesome anymore. So it's gonna be great. But yeah, that's what's in my heart at least. Something tight, fun, flowy, um, banked. It's hard to say tight and flow. A track that will be tight and flowy, but we'll try to make something work. There's like, again, how Cole and I talked about it. There is nothing better than going to slideways and running on the wall. And it's really awesome when you watch a race. Some of the best racing I've seen has been at slideways when guys can run. They're running right next to one another on the track, but one's down on the pipe and one's on the wall. So, but yeah, it's the track is completely going to be developed as we're building it, because I don't want to tie myself down into anything specific and lie to you guys and it come out different. So I know what I would like to do, and as we continue building it, it'll get better. So, but keep them coming, guys. We keep fluctuating in a little bit over that 20 mark. So any questions you guys have got, keep them coming. If Kevin was playing his drinking game to me saying awesome, he probably can't type anymore. He's probably fallen out of his chair. So. Tony, you're in here. I'll start saying premiere. That wouldn't be very good. But again, also something else that I want to touch on is we have. I am adamant about trying to work with. I want to be a benefit to everybody, and all these other tracks that are working really hard around us. Although we don't have many tracks, there's really no track close to our track, which is great. I mean, obviously that's good for what we're trying to do. But Tony, that's two. What happens if I get to 5? Do I get a prize, Tony? But anyway, that's kind of the big thing. Is I want to be an asset to the hobby and to the community. I'm not trying to come in here and revolutionize the world and affect other people's businesses that are that have tracks. So at the end of the day, all this is for fun and it's a hobby, but it does. There's a lot of expense and things around. It's a business too. It's something we're gonna have to work with. Let's see. There's Mr. Thedens. Let's see. Dirt types and blends will probably cause you to make a few adjustments size wise. Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. And I've been talking to several people about dirt and where we're going to acquire our dirt and things like that. So I think we've got some really good avenues to go down and get very good clean dirt. I do plan on having a sifting box to sift through everything here. So once we get it dumped here before we start working with it, and you guys have seen in some of my other streams the tractor that I have, we got a nice bucket and blade and things like that. So as things continue developing, maybe we can invest in a nice grader box and things like that. We'll do that as we go, and equipment, things like that will develop as we go, which will be great. And that's, you guys are kind of going to watch us grow along as we go. So Kevin, I can type. I'm just out. I'm just out of Capri Suns and burping. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Has anybody went over and followed the page yet? Let's see where we're at here. Almost to 20 followers already on the old racetrack page, so that's cool. But yeah, I agree, Ryan. I mean, the big thing is going to be, trying to make sure we get as much of the rock out of it, and things like that. Because another thing that I would really love is, for two prime examples, when you go to like a PT's, when you go to Slideways, when you go to some of these other tracks that are not tire eating tracks, and I would really like to be one of those tracks that you don't have to bring a crap load of tires to. So we'll see. That I know that's out of our control, but it's also not out of our control, and that will be a developing situation as things go. So that is also true, Kevin. I don't. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me is that I don't like drinking. Or I don't drink. So if I liked the taste of any of that stuff, I'd probably be an alcoholic. Oh man. This is exciting. I hope that my big wish is everybody is a quarter as excited as I am about all this, because it's going to be good. I'm excited. Hopefully that's coming out. That might be perfect, JB. Right around the time our season's wrapping up, then that'll be good. But Bruce, speaking of the future, a roof does wonders for for an outdoor track. That is incredibly fair, and I am not going to touch on that other than to say noted. And if things go the way that I hope it goes, that will absolutely be a factor. And Kaylee's staring a dagger through my face right now. But yeah, TBD on that one, Bruce. To say the least, I'd be lying to you if I said that wasn't a thought. Rooster for indoor in southern India or southern USA. That's fair too. One step at a time. Kaylee is my step back guy. Make sure I take a step back because I get really excited about all this stuff, and I get way too excited sometimes. So yeah, Tony, I don't think there's anybody more qualified to make that statement than you, my man. So I get that. I get that completely. It is. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for the work that it's going to take. I'm excited to be able to um, provide a great product, and I'm excited to I'm excited to what is going to come. So, but I agree with you totally. Yep. Yep. Ryan said it best. A roof makes the rain go away.
Not for my yard.
Well, there ain't no yard. You have a racetrack now. You don't have a yard.
I have my side yard.
You do have a side yard. That is fair.
Better not park in the left side of our house.
Oh yeah, unless everybody wants me to get a divorce, nobody can park on the right side of our or the left side of our property.
You think I was mowing before?
Yeah. Oh, R.I.P. my easy up. That's awesome. But yeah, guys, no, it's gonna be great. We're about it. It's gonna be exciting. If you guys would not mind, any of the 20 of you that's in here, um, if you would not mind, I would greatly appreciate it if you would go to the um, Raceway 39 page, and if you guys would please all give us a like and follow, as well as share the page and let everybody that's around our area know. Um, I would greatly appreciate it. That's the only way we're going to grow is by everybody knowing about the track. I apologize in advance for how annoying I'm going to be posting things and letting we're going to be content kings over here for a while trying to market all this. So there's going to be a lot of content based around this. There's going to be a lot of growth. So Andrew, you're the man. I appreciate you. So everybody be like Andrew. Go to 10 different groups and share this. That would be awesome. I would greatly appreciate it. Ryan says that JB's easy up looked like a homeless shelter flying away. Oh, and also the one I don't have very many non-negotiables. Come here, Andy. The non-negotiables is everybody needs to be dog people because our dogs will be a part of our racing program. Come here, Andy. Come here, Andy. Everybody just seen Monty, and this is Indy. Indy May. So Indy, here, there you go. You can talk now.
It's her world.
But Indy May, if you can't tell by her name, she's the biggest racer in our family. So she will be excited, and Monty's pretty pumped up about race cars too, I think. So
He just doesn't like being chased by them.
Yeah, Monty does not like being chased by the RC cars, and I think most everybody's seen Kaylee at the track by now. But if you want to come over here, we're a small little family track. So this is my wife Kaylee. God, it really looks like I'm a Make-A-Wish kid for the most part when you're around. That's terrible. So anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to stay on here. We still have 22 people watching. So I'm going to stay on here until every question is answered. That's kind of what it is. So getting caught up on comments. Kevin, the sun hasn't shined on it either. Very true. Brain's really bad. Andrew says putting let's see. Brain's really bad dust storms on the NHRA weekend. Thank you, Andrew, again. I know I've already said it once, but thank you for all your shares. I do appreciate that. What's weird is I don't even see, I didn't even get a notification that you did that. So thank you. That means the world. Bruce, so you're talking about the dogs now. They are, Indy has absolutely no, she doesn't want to play catch at all, but she will hang out with you all day long. And Monty, you will have to get rotator cuff surgery and Tommy John surgery before you leave the track because you can't throw the ball enough for Monty. So they're two totally ends of the spectrum. Indy thinks she's a human being, and Monty is the definition of ball is life. So Anthony, they do not chase cars. Neither one of them care about cars at all. They will sit and watch. I'm assuming once it's on the track and they can get a little area to watch, they'll watch. I'm sure. But I've had like when I had my Losi sprint, I would have it out in the yard, and they wanted nothing to do with it at all. So JB, I am obviously not right now, but throughout the day while I'm in the shop and stuff, I watch all the time. So I've been watching the shoot. I haven't missed too many laps other than when I'm doing this. So Kaylee's just letting you know about the dogs.
That's why I said you could literally run over Indy and she'd be like,
"Get away from me!" Yeah. I do have to pack. Yeah, I do need to pack. I actually don't have shocks on either one of my cars at the moment, and I just I put a slipper on my late model, and I really want to put a slipper on my sprint car, but I think that's going to be a in the pit area situation tomorrow because I'm going to put the shocks back on my late model and get everything buttoned back up and get packed. So because I actually have to go do some work stuff in Peoria on my way to the track, so it's going to be a long morning for me. Alonzo, do you have a layout of the track? So we kind of touched on that a little bit, Alonzo. So basically, the first answer is no, but it's basically going to be kind of I think it's going to be a bull ring with some banking is what I'm hoping for. But as we start building and get things laid out, that's how we're going to go. So there's not a specific layout right now, but as things develop and the weather turns where we can get out there and get the track built, it'll take shape for sure. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you, dude. You were the man. I'll be talking to you soon here, I'm sure. Hopefully, I'll see you at Four Rocks. I don't know if you're going or not, but hopefully, I'll see you there. And I'm sure we can talk about this. Alonzo, if you're still in here, we do have this. I don't know if you missed this. This is the best layout of like the aerial view of what's going to happen. Again, don't put too much into the track as far as what it looks like, but my hope is it's going to be a bull ring with some banking, so we have multiple grooves, things like that. I don't personally like bigger tracks. That's not to say a lot of people don't, but that's kind of the gist of it. So, but keep them coming, guys. I appreciate it. This has been pretty awesome. I keep refreshing the page. We're already up to 30 followers now. That's pretty great. Oh, Lord, I just seen Kaylee's post. Kaylee's already starting to try to promote. Hey, we need to slow down a little bit. We need to slow down. You need to get all of your ideas in check. We don't need to tell everybody all of our ideas at once. We're going to start a ladies' league right off the rip.
I said maybe.
Maybe. Everybody, you heard it here first. My wife said we're starting a ladies' league. Bring your wives.
I did not say that. And it will not be on main days.
Sorry, Wednesday night ladies night. Wednesday night's ladies night at our RC track.
When they're marinating in their spray pants.
Yeah. There's just something about ladies and RC track that doesn't go well together. Outside of the track, which the track's awesome, guys. What do you guys think about the podcast style tonight? Like that interview style? Was everybody kind of jiving with that? Was everybody feeling that? I know. Cole's an awesome dude in himself, so he made the show easy. But what did everybody think about that? So I thought that is like talk about passion. That's I really enjoy talking. Sounds stupid. I really like getting to know people and letting people know what we're doing and things like that. So. Yeah, Bruce's lady races Kaylee, so she'll be here, I'm sure.
I don't even know how to drive one, so.
You'll get it. Anthony, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I look forward to meeting you, Anthony. I need to come up and shake your hand. I think on the carpet oval side, you're only 20 minutes apart. You're only like 20 minutes from us. So definitely, I need to come up and say hey to you and shake your hand and meet you. I'd love to do that. Because I know what you guys are doing is awesome, and I have a lot of respect for what you guys have done. So good on you as well. Nice job to you. Cool. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that too. Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of where I was like. That's where I was coming from with wanting to do it this way. It's still growing and helping grow the hobby and getting people out there. Um, but even if I was the most, which I'm not, but even if I was the most knowledgeable person, you can only have so many of those wrenching. And that's kind of where this has developed to. And I've realized over the course of doing several lives now is like eventually you'd get to where you're beating a dead horse on the lives. So that's kind of where this has come to. If we can do them live, great. If we have to do them pre-recorded, I've already talked to a couple of people that we may have to do some recorded ones. We can do that, and I'll just play the recording on the live or whatever. So we'll figure that out. We'll still cover tech, and we'll still try to help people for sure. I'm very passionate about wanting to do that. But yeah, it's awesome. Tech Tip Thursday for sure, Kevin. Even if I do like some of the content stuff, like I did that video on springs, that got some really good numbers. That got several thousand views, I think, last time I looked. So that'll be like maybe we can do something like that where it's just a pre-recorded, and I can do some things like that, or get with people and do things like that. I think it'll be good. I'm excited about that. I've got a couple things up my sleeve this weekend for the Rumble that I'm going to that I'd like to. I'm going to try to get some cool content for as well. So. Kaylee, Bruce said that his wife didn't know how to drive, or his. I don't want to insult you by saying your wife, Bruce, because I think you guys are maybe engaged or dating or something. So don't be offended by what I said. But Bruce's significant other didn't know how to race either, and now she's having a lot of fun. So
Someone's got to softly eat them the candy bars, though. Someone's got to feed them.
Bruce, if you're talking, for scale labs, Kevin thinks I need to get a lab coat. That would actually be kind of funny. But yeah, Bruce, if you're talking about Kevin, I'm sure Kevin will be on here to represent Wits and on the podcast at some point, so that'll be good. Definitely, Josh. I know we've talked about it before. We've talked about this before. Like I still have 100%. I'm sure that we've already talked to Brad and Tom with BB Mods, and then Tom at PTs. We're still going to be doing a lot of that content as well. So the Wrenchin stuff's definitely going to stay. Yeah, Bruce, I understand that for sure. Geez, Kevin. The Kevacor. Oh Lord, Kevacorian of RC. What's that mean?
What? I don't see his comment.
The Kevacorian of RC. You're gonna look it over, and it's just gonna be your forehead over. The Kever. What's that mean?
Where is he on watching? Because that's not showing up on mine, or I would help you read it.
Everybody's on Facebook. I don't know.
The
It says Facebook.
Kevacorian of RC.
Kevin, what's a Kevacorian other than you?
Other than him. Simply killing it.
So what's he killing?
Apparently a Kevacorian.
The RC game? Kevin's killing the RC game with Woods. Everybody's starting to leave in droves because we're just rambling at this point.
Oh, and I just shoved my forehead in the camera, so
Probably scared everybody.
my 5 head.
Your 5 head. Oh, now Kevin's saying that we promised $5 to everybody who shared. Well, track's closed. We're broke. Track's closed. We're broke now. Kevin got us all screwed up now. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for sharing. I do appreciate it. It helps a bunch. Simply slicing and dicing to the front is what a Kevacorian is. Fair enough.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. Yikes. We'll talk about that in person. But cool. Simply killing it. Makes sense now, though. That makes sense. Got it. Cool, cool, cool. You have a Keely has a red top. Oh man. Well, again, guys, there's still about 13 folks in here. I don't want to leave any questions unanswered. So if anybody's got anything, please let me know. Like I say, if I don't have a kind of to lean on what Cole said, if I don't have an answer, we'll make sure we get one. So, but that's kind of the big announcements. Either way, guys, that's kind of the big announcements for what's going on with what we're doing and what we have kind of up our sleeves for this new year. So, kind of going to a more interview podcast style for on the Scale Labs page. I'm still going to be bringing a lot of content, a lot of wrenching stuff around that to keep that going. But and then obviously the big one is Raceway 39, and we're going to be racing this summer. So if that's it, everybody, I know there's, like I said, if anybody has any questions or anybody needs anything, please reach out. I will make sure that Scale Labs shares Raceway 39's Facebook page, and then and we will go from there. But I appreciate you all so much. If you can do anything for me, I would greatly appreciate everybody sharing, liking, and sharing the page. As many of you that can, I just need to get it as front of many eyeballs as we can. I would greatly appreciate that. And outside of that, it's all on me and us to make sure that we are able to provide a track that creates the best product possible. So thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Cole Rhodes. If you haven't yet, go follow, CR7 Dirtworks. I think what Cole's got going on over there is awesome. And that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I owe Kevin $5, and I will see you guys later. Thank you again. Happy New Year. Thank you to TP3D. Last little plug. Go over and check out TP3D's Facebook page. Buy some products off him. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. We will see you next week.